Have you ever experienced infidelity in your relationship and found yourself unleashing your anger on someone who has nothing to do with your relationship? Well, this is for you. My name is Dr. Leslie Davis, and I'm a relationship expert. And today we're going to talk about displaced anger or misplaced anger. What is this really about? If you've ever experienced infidelity in your relationship, it can be heartbreaking and really confusing and shocking. And sometimes we have so many mixed emotions about the experience that sometimes it feels safer to unleash our anger on someone who has nothing to do with the situation because it's harder to have the conversation with the person that hurt us. It's also a struggle to deal with the real emotions that we're experiencing. And so sometimes when anger is involved, what we see is anger at the top, but we fail to recognize what's underneath it all. Maybe there's betrayal or shame or confusion or embarrassment. And so rather than dealing with those emotions, we allow anger to rise to the top like a geyser. And what comes out is this extreme heat, and sometimes it's untimed and we can't really tell when it's going to happen. But someone comes into our existence and we unleash it on that person unexpectedly. We don't always recognize that we're going to do it. It's unplanned, and the person that we hurt ends up being confused by our behavior. All this does is create more confusion in relationships, and sometimes we can push other people away that we actually need when it's time to heal from the infidelity. Sometimes displaced anger is a power and control move. When we've experienced infidelity, that created distance in our relationships, and it was a power and control move of our partner who hurt us. In order to regain that power or a sense of control of ourselves, we might unleash ourselves on other people. This could look like yelling at the person who was also involved, so the mistress, for example, instead of yelling at our partner. It could look like blaming other people for the reason why you were cheated on. It can look like cursing out everybody you know because you're just hurting so bad. It could look like yelling at your kids for being late for school, although that might have been your fault because you didn't get yourself up on time. It's all displaced anger. When we're hurting, we can go into a victimization mode and we can engage in self-blame. The person who cheated on you most likely is not going to take responsibility until you call them out. And even when you do, if you're a victim of gaslighting, you might find yourself blaming yourself for what happened. The finger is going to be pointed at you, and you accept that. So self-blame is one of those moves used by abusers that creates confusion, and it's a tactic of manipulation. So if you've ever found yourself saying, well, maybe I'm the problem, or maybe this happened because I did something wrong in the relationship, or maybe I pushed them away and that's why they cheated on me. Well, you're engaging in misplaced or displaced anger. If you found yourself in this place, well, what can you do about it? Well, let me give you 3 insights. The first thing you can do is go to therapy. Sometimes we can't talk to our friends and family about the pain we experience when there's infidelity. But a therapist can keep your secrets. And a therapist will help you process all these emotions that you don't know how to express in a safe manner. The therapist can also help you name your pain, which is the second thing we're going to do. We're going to name what hurts. And sometimes that doesn't always look the way that we think it should. We might only see the anger, right? The anger is at the top. But again, what's under the surface? Are we embarrassed? Are we ashamed? Are we lonely? Are we hurt? Are we feeling betrayed? There's so many other emotions that we're experiencing, and sometimes all at the same time, or maybe we're experiencing grief. But without naming our pain, we can't go through the process of healing. The third thing we're going to do is we're going to have a safe and honest conversation with the person who hurt us. We can't unleash our anger on people who have nothing to do with our relationship. And yes, if there's a mistress involved, okay, let's be real. It's good to have that conversation in a safe manner, but really, who's at fault here? We can't change the relationship with the mistress, but we can change the dynamics with our partner. So let's have an honest conversation with them. Displaced anger, it's a lot to manage. It's a lot to deal with. It doesn't only hurt us, it hurts the other people that are involved. Anger is not an inappropriate emotion. There are times like infidelity where anger makes sense. But sometimes the way we express our anger, now that's something we need to learn to control. If you're struggling with displaced anger, I encourage you to seek help and know that you're not alone.